Vicarious liability means that an organisation can be held liable for the torts of those who work for them. The most common area where this exists is an employee-employer relationship. However, it also exists where there are contractors. The court finds there to be a contract of services where the employer exerts control over the employee who is integrated into the business. Dual liability may exist where both the contractor and subcontractor are both in a servant-master relationship. It is important to note, though, that an employer is not generally liable for the torts of independent contractors. The exception to this rule, though, is that if the activity is defined as extra-hazardous, liability becomes strict as the employer has a non-delegable duty. A further class of non-delegable duties were added in Woodland, where it was found that if the victim had a known vulnerable characteristic, then to fulfil the defendant's duty of care requirement, they had to retain a degree of control over the situation. An important case in vicarious liability was Catholic Child Welfare Society, as it gave 5 justifications for the doctrine. 1. The employer is more likely to have the means to compensate. 2. The tortfeasor was under the defendant's control. 3. The tort was part of an activity taken on behalf of the defendant. 4. The tortfeasor's activity was likely to be part of the defendant's business activity. And finally, the defendant creates risk by employing the tortfeasor and so should bear the brunt of that risk. The most prominent case that defined what in the course of employment meant was Lister, where the court ruled that vicarious liability existed where there was a connection between the work of the tortfeasor and the wrong, even where the wrong went against the tortfeasor's work, as in the case where the tortfeasor abused the children, which went against his work in caring for them. However, as this abuse often happened in the context of discipline, there was found to be a connection and so the employers were held liable. This definition sometimes produces unusual results, as seen in Mattis, where the tortfeasor carried out a revenge attack on a nightclub patron, but this was still held to be within the scope of employment.